Hi, I'm Jonathan Eshkeri, an English solicitor and Spanish abogado. I practice law in England and in Spain, with offices in London and in Tarragona, just south of Barcelona. In this video, I'll be talking about Spanish wills. One of the most difficult topics for people to discuss is what will happen to their possessions when they die. There are few things as certain as death, so unless you want to rely on whatever the law provides at the time you die, it makes a lot of sense to set down in black and white who'll get what. Of course, as you already know, I'm speaking about making a will. Each country has its own rules regarding wills, so that if you live and work in Birmingham, you'll probably make a will according to English law. Your English will can apply to all of your assets anywhere in the world, what we lawyers call your universal estate. That means that if you own property in Spain as at the date of your death and you've made an English will leaving everything to your spouse, then your surviving spouse will be able to administer your estate according to the provisions of your English will. The trouble is that your spouse will be using documentation issued by the English court, that being a grant of probate as well as a sealed copy of the English will, to satisfy the Spanish authorities that he or she is to inherit your Spanish assets. If your spouse engages a specialist cross-border succession lawyer to administer your Spanish estate, then there ought to be no problem at all. If, for example, I'm presented with a will drafted in Chinese, according to the law of the People's Republic of China, I'll make sure that the intention of the testator is carried out in Spain. That's because I specialise in cross-border Spanish succession matters. If, however, an otherwise competent Spanish lawyer without experience in cross-border succession work attempts to handle the administration of a Spanish estate using an English will, the matter may take a lot longer to complete, and he or she may not have the knowledge and or the experience to minimise the tax impact of the inheritance. A carefully drafted Spanish will signed by you according to Spanish law can ensure that your wishes are carried out and that the inheritance tax payable is reduced to the greatest extent provided by law. In that way, whoever your spouse engages to handle the administration of your estate will be bound to do so according to your wishes as set out in a Spanish will. One of the most important advantages of making a Spanish will is that it's signed before a Spanish notary and stays at the notary's office. At the end of the year, it's bound into a volume with other documents signed during that year. If the notary moves away or retires or dies, then the original documents are passed on to another notary in the same municipality. When you make your Spanish will, the notary will communicate to the Registry of Last Wills in Madrid the date on which you made the will, as well as the notary's name, your full name, and your date of birth. When you die, if you still own assets in Spain, then in order to administer your estate, the beneficiaries of your estate will have to obtain a certificate of last will from the Spanish Registry of Last Wills. That will set out the place at which and date on which you made your Spanish will, and will enable a beneficiary of your estate to obtain a certified copy of your will. With that certificate of last will and your death certificate, as well as a certified copy of your Spanish will and evidence that no will made by you in your country of nationality applies to your Spanish estate, the beneficiaries of your Spanish estate will be able to receive your Spanish assets in the way in which you decide. You can be absolutely certain of what will happen and how it will happen. If you'd like advice and assistance with your Spanish will, or if you have any queries that this video message has not answered, please do be in touch with me by email or by telephone. The information can be found on our website, www.solicitorsInspain.com. Thanks for watching.